Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another patch notes video. It is the 30th of September 2025, and this was just released. We are happy to bring 5.0.15 live, which contains various balance changes, bug fixes, and quality of life improvements. We want to thank the community contributors who provided valuable feedback during our PTR period of like 8 days. Zerg, Spire cost reduced from 200 to 150. Spire build time reduced from 71 seconds to 66 seconds. Centrifugal hooks now give plus 5 HP bonus to mainling again. Very nice. So the buffs for Zerg are all going through. Microbial Shroud reduces the range attacks by 50% damage. The effect no longer persists. The cost is increased from 75 to 100, which this was necessary. I'm glad they did this, and it now requires an upgrade again. So this is now gonna, all the pushes that we're hitting with this pretty quickly between like the 6 and 7.5 minute mark, it's probably gonna be the 7.5-ish minute mark before you're seeing this out again. It's gonna be more of a transitionary period for Zerg, which makes them slightly weaker, I think. And I think that's a good change, because Microbial Shroud was, it is something. Let's put it that way. Protoss Energy Recharge Grant reduced from 100 to 50. That's good. The cooldown reduced from 60 to 45. This change is actually insanely good, I think. It makes the Oracle still feel very good without feeling like it has absolutely infinite energy. And it also reduces the amount of storms a High Templar gets immediately after being built from 2 to 1, which, like, 1 instant storm is good enough. Psionic Storm changed from 80 damage over 3 seconds to 140 damage over 6 seconds. 26.7 DPS to 23.3 DPS. So it does way more damage, but lasts twice as long. We'll see how this works out. The zoning ability of the Storm has felt pretty good. However, it does definitely feel worse in straight up fights. Sonic Storm radius increased from, damn, it's crazy. They still gave it a 50% or what is this? 25% radius increase. Kind of insane. I feel like it was a 50% increase before. To 2. I don't remember exactly what the last iteration of the patch notes were, but I feel like this is less than it was before. Maybe not. Range reduced from 9 to 8. That's good. That means it's worse against lurkers and siege tanks, which is good. Dark Templar blink delay reduced from 0.75 to 0.25. That's nice. Surveillance mode now reveals observers. Okay, now we need to test and make sure that the bug with this actually got fixed. Surveillance mode increases vision from 13.75 to 15. Purification cooldown. So, okay. So the radius, they didn't go through with the radius increase. They just went through with the cooldown reduction. Okay. Stasis word duration reduced from 170 seconds to 90 seconds. So we're going to have to see how, like, hero blink style against Zerg works out with this. You won't be able to queue up as many stasis wards because they won't be lasting quite as long, right? So they're going to be dissipating faster. The siege tank can no longer be abducted in siege mode. I haven't had too much testing with this, but Binding Cloud's still a thing. I can't imagine it's too much of a difference. Viking cost reduced from 150.75 to 125.75, so a 25 mineral reduction. It's very nice. Drilling Call's effectiveness. This is insanely nice. Widow Mines feel a lot better with this. Hyperflight rotors. Wow, we got the spelling correct. Well done, Blizzard. Research time decreased from 100 to 79 seconds. All right, so 21-second increase. Very nice. Sight range reduced from 10 to 9. We're going to see if the bug fix for the Liberator went through. This is just fine. And I say that because the bug fix for the Liberator is insanely good. It makes them feel like, it doesn't feel like they're so sluggish anymore. Like, it's like grandma with a walking cane. It feels like, you know, you got a high-test athlete at your disposal, ready to do whatever you needed to do the instant you commanded to do it, which is exactly how units in RTS should feel. Ghost supply reduced from 3 to 2. Ghost is now considered light. So they take more damage from Banelings. They take more damage from... what else? Versus light. Hellions? They take more damage from Hellions? I don't know when you would see that interaction, really, though. Huh. Light attribute. We'll see how that goes. I mean, the biggest interaction is going to be between Ghost and Baneling, so... Bug fixes updated the Protoss AoE UI indicator. It did feel... the thing is, so that it's updated, but it's weird, right? They updated it with disruptors, so it's like, say I go to shoot a disruptor ball, it says where it's going to hit, but I can move it during the cast. And also, I found that wherever it says it's going to hit, it's usually, like, not correct. So it gives, like, the maximum distance, but the maximum distance, like, the ball goes off before it actually reaches where the UI indicator says it will. Fix an issue where units with beam attacks would conflate each other's cooldowns. I never experienced that myself. Fix an issue where probes would become unresponsive near simulators. That's a very nice change. Fix the issue with the Cyclone attack upgrade. I heard that was a thing. Fix an issue with Mothership attacking max range. Cyclone lock on cooldown. That's a good thing. I mean, testing this on the balance patch, Cyclones still feel pretty good. It's definitely worse. Like, things take slightly longer, but it's still pretty good. Fix an issue with orbital commands not auto-rallying. I mean, I manually rally all my CCs anyways, but this is a good quality of life change for lower level players. Very happy to see that. Fix an issue where Mothership had redundant psionic tag. Is it redundant because it can be interference matrixed? I guess if it's also mechanical, then it doesn't really matter. But if it's not mechanical and they remove the psionic tag, you can no longer interference matrix some Mothership, which that sounds like something that is a niche thing, but it's a good counter to the Mothership. Stopping the those three spells, which are very powerful, Cloak, Time Warp, plus Recall, while a fight is ongoing, is very good. Specifically, stopping the cloaking. Fix an issue where Mothership was unable to maintain the correct number of targets for target firing, including during movement. Huh. I never really thought about, like, how the target firing works with a Mothership with 4 attacks. Fix an issue where Mothership's target acquiring process would cause it to overly prioritize low priority targets such as larvae. That's very nice. So when you get up to bases, it's not going to sit there and attack overlords and larvae anymore, instead of the units right in front of it. Fix an issue where units unloaded out of transports would not reset their acquired attack target to the closest unit. Okay, this is actually going to hurt some micro, and I say that because there was a noticeable thing that when you would drop out of transports sometimes, the unit you were already attacking, they would continue to attack that unit even if it wasn't the closest unit, which is like, it just made pickup micro more oppressive. But that's okay. I mean, that sounds like it's a necessary fix, so... Fix an issue where commands with add-on build would be issued to the same barracks repeatedly rather than spread out. There's something to do with a lot with rapid fire. C is for reactor, and C is also for like scanning and stuff like that. So, I always have C on rapid fire. It tends to be a key across all the races, and I noticed this happening myself. Fix an issue where hitting the key to construct an add-on twice could result in production structure lifting when certain settings were used. Interesting. I never had that happen to myself. That's a good fix. Fix an issue where set rally cannot be issued if both flying and ground structures were simultaneously selected. Okay. Fix an issue where visual effects from abilities could be seen through the fog of war, parasitic bomb, stim pack. Okay, what about lurker spine sounds? What about what else do they say? Stim pack is good. They need to fix the audio issues where you can hear stuff through the fog of war. You can also hear like energy overcharge and things like that. So you can get extra info through the fog of war with the sound effects as well as the visual effects. I'm sad to see that they're just fixing the visual effects. Fixed an issue where the visual effects from abilities could not be seen even where large portions of the model were well within vision range. Guardian Shield and Microbial Shroud. Interesting. Fixed an issue where disruptors lacked an AoE indicator. This is the one I was talking about. I think it's kind of bugged. If this plus the observer is bugged in this patch, I'm going to be slightly upset. Just a little upset. Fixed an issue where stasis orbs had no pre-placement, visual indicator, or sound. No pre-placement visual indicator. Oh, okay. Fixed an issue where liberators could designate attack target while morphing from anti-ground to anti-air, but not while morphing from anti-air to anti-ground. Oh, okay, so it's talking about like when you siege it up, you can already go ahead and shift-click things down. That's nice. Fix an issue where liberators commanded to siege in areas inside the range could result in slower execution than being commanded to siege outside the range. Very nice. That's a good fix. Fix an issue where I mean, they didn't talk about the response of the Liberator in this, but as they were in the last one, but they could just be better wording. I'm hoping these are the fixes, or the bug fixes that we were looking for to make the Liberators actually feel like good units, and we shall see. Fix an issue where model for Zerg 6x6 rocks was set to be too large for blah 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 blah. Fix an issue where Ravagers would glide along the ground if told to move command after issuing Corrosive Bile. No more skating Ravagers, nice. Fix an issue where no target impact animation was present for Corrosive Bile. Okay, where Broodlings could greatly delay launching or fail to launch toward their target depending on their position relative to the Broodlord. So this is going to help with Broodlord Micro, and someone said they wanted me to test the Ghost and Broodlord interaction. I'm having a hard time picturing exactly how this is going to change that interaction. It really depends upon who is the one that's attacking. Is the Zerg player attacking and looking for Ghost to click on, or is the Terran player the one following the Broodlords and starting the snipe? I really feel like those are the two things that most importantly, most affect that interaction. Improved microbial shroud particle effects for units within the shroud, particularly a certain map lighting could cause bright flashing lights. Alright. Fix an issue where players could accidentally drain excess health while attempting to cast Stim Pack. It now has a very short cooldown to prevent rapid recast. This is a great quality of life change for our rapid fire guys plus our low level guys. This is just going to help Terran players at all levels. Giving Stim a cooldown might seem like a nerf, but you don't need to do it more than once every 15 seconds, so... You know what this also means? This means when you grab units out of a medevac, like you're just... As they're coming out of the medevac, you can just drag-click the... Like, box-click the entire medevac and just keep hitting the Stim key, and it shouldn't double cast it on most of your guys. As long as it's, like, quick enough. Alright. Fix an issue where Cyclone's hit by Lurker Spine would instantly go into lock-on cooldown. This was definitely a problem. I'm surprised this didn't get fixed sooner. Fix an issue where Cyclone lock-on projectiles would damage targets even if the target had escaped detection before impact. Escaped detection. Oh, so it's like a Banshee or something. Okay. Fix an issue where Contaminate could be cast on targets that cannot research or train units, like creep tumors. Could be cast on targets that cannot research or train units. Okay, but why would you contaminate? Oh, this is the Overseer ability. For some reason, I'm thinking Caustic Spray. My apologies. Yeah, this is good. I mean, you shouldn't be able to contaminate anything else. Fix an issue where damage graphics would not trigger on rich refineries or extractors. Okay. Fix an impactful balance issue where motherships are not playing their coolest available visual animation while constructing. This is intended to buff Protoss visually. Fixed an impactful balance issue. Funny. Updated turning position visuals for Reapers, Hellions, and Cyclones. Very nice. Fix an issue where Dark Templar attack sounds would complete regardless of whether a unit had been dealt damage. Yes, that where you'd hear the swipe but nothing would happen. Cool. Adjusted smart cast behavior for Caustic Spray and consumabilities. This is intended to reduce the reliance on rapid fire settings for optimal use. Okay. Fix an issue where Locusts spawned simultaneously would have perfectly synchronized animation rather than behaving like a swarm. Okay, this is like a visual thing. Fix an issue where researching high-sec auto-tracking would not update its level on the icon of the units affected. Update its level. Oh, from like 0 to whatever. Oh, okay, so you're talking like for the armor. So now when you click on a building, it should say 2. Increased allied push priority for Thor and siege tanks, intended to assist bulky units in pathfinding when surrounded by many small friendly units. Very nice. I think of Calyx versus Jason today. Whenever the Thors are trying to move through the siege tanks, this is one of this is a change that will impact those kinds of scenarios. Fix the issue where Reaper's rapid regeneration model would persist above its transport. Not only would it do that, but this is also something else that happens in the Fog of War on occasion. Fix an issue where siege tank impact fire model would persist above its target transport. Huh, I've never seen that. Fix an issue where siege tank impact craters would disappear and reappear if the target was picked up and dropped out of a transport. Huh. Fix an issue where Thor's high-impact weapon made no launch sound. Launch. Oh, the... Huh, so it's just like a silent Thor? I haven't had this issue myself. Fix an issue where KDA charge could cause ground units to resemble air units by moving them to a different height plane. To resemble air units. Okay. Fix an issue where KDA charge knockback animation would persist on units who are no longer being knocked back. This happened on Ling sometimes. Added polish to the casting of Microbial Shroud via a short cast finish time. Fixed an issue where the Rich Assimilator's shield armor icon would not update with shield upgrades. Okay. Fixed an issue where it was difficult to tell the progression of Lurker Spines underneath clumps of units. Okay. So this is all... A lot of these are all visual. Fixed an issue where Lurker Spine damage was desynced substantially with its visual effects due to the visual spine taking too long to appear. Alright. There's a long list of changes. I think Zerg's going to feel a whole lot better. At least that's the hope. Protoss should hopefully get a small but substantial nerf overall. It seems like a lot of these turn into buffs though, including the Storm ones. And for Terran got nothing but buffs except for the Light attribute and the Liberator Sight Range. Those two are nerfs, but other than that, like with the bug fixes we got, I think we're going to be seeing some shifts in the balance, and I am looking forward to testing these all out with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do consider subscribing, and make sure you check out Ladder Legends for the best coaching and improvement community currently available. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.